Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's guided meditation. Today's meditation was inspired by a message that I channeled from the Hathors. The Hathors are an interdimensional advanced civilization that is associated with ancient Egypt, as they were worshipped as the goddess Hathor, or Heteru. In advanced civilizations such as the Hathors, or ones we are more familiar with, such as Atlantis, since it was here on Earth, concepts that are merely spiritual can become scientific once they are understood. And I am a strong believer that concepts such as parallel realities and quantum jumping are merely spiritual concepts that we do not yet understand scientifically. The Hathors were specifically known for their use of sound and frequency to go between dimensions and even between universes. And as humans, we have a basic understanding of frequency that we are remembering now as we listen to our 528 Hz meditations. Their understanding of these frequencies went far enough to create portals and to create change in the physical realities around them. And so today's meditation will be using a parallel reality quantum jumping method that I channeled from the Hathors. When you are ready and ready to receive, get into a comfortable position. Close your eyes, and let's start with a few deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling life force and vitality into the body. Exhaling and releasing, relaxing, letting go. Inhaling our soul remembrance and connection to Source. And exhaling, allowing our bodies to relax into the cushion beneath us. Inhaling, bringing yourself into the present moment. And exhaling, surrendering to the present moment. And with every inhale and exhale, beginning to let go of the day behind you or the day ahead of you. Surrendering to the divine now. Allowing yourself to release any rigidity in your body, your mental energy, or your emotional energy, and allowing yourself and your form to take on a more expansive energy. Turning our attention to our inner light within our chest, our inner flame, our inner spark of soul, of Source, that every inhale and exhale is feeding this spark, fueling it as the flame grows larger and larger. Expanding into your chest. And this light, this spark, begins to expand beyond your body. And this warm flame of your soul and Source connection is now surrounding your entire body. and expanding now to surround your entire energetic field, your entire aura. That you are held within the light and the remembrance of your divinity, of your soul's highest calling, highest purpose. And from this space, bring into your awareness the parallel reality in which you have and experience what you are seeking in your current timeline. And I want you to bring into your awareness the fact that this reality already exists. And there is a you who is already living there, experiencing what you want to experience, who has the things that you want to have. And so, if you were to successfully shift to this reality, would the you in that reality simply be bumped out so that you could take their place? No, they would not. But rather, it would be emerging. Because you and all aspects of you in all realities are what comprises your highest self. And so there is already the version of you who is experiencing everything that you wish to experience. And when you turn your awareness to this version of yourself who is residing in this parallel reality, how do they differ from you energetically? What are their emotional and mental energies? How do they feel? What vibration do they hold? Are they in a greater state of peace? Are they in a greater state of flow? Are they in a greater state of abundance? And what is the source behind that peace, that flow, that abundance, whatever it is that they have, that they hold? Is it greater trust, greater faith, greater self-worth? And what is the source then behind this greater sense of trust, faith, self-worth, or whatever it is that this version of you has? And the answer to all answers is a greater remembrance and embodiment of our connection to Source. That through true remembrance of our divinity, of our connection to Source and all else, we are able to liberate ourselves from all limitations. That we are able to free ourselves from suffering. That we allow ourselves to stand in the truth of our power, and not a power that comes from force or control, lack or ego, but rather a power that comes from love, from unity and connection, from self-worth that originates from our divinity as Source. And the Hathors ask you to consider, why is it that there is a version of you that exists, who is already in their power, who is reminded of their divinity, who has everything you seek to have, and is experiencing everything you seek to experience? And why is there then the version of yourself that you are currently experiencing that is not holding or experiencing or being everything that you desire? What is the purpose for both existing simultaneously? Your highest timeline exists because it is your divine right to experience that. And yet your current reality holds value because you have been given the opportunity and chosen to have the opportunity to build up. To build from nothing to something, from not having to having. Because in the process of doing so, every step of the way, every lesson you've learned, it has given you the power, the ability to understand. Because through your struggles and your initiations and your lessons, you have come to understand these subjects that you struggle with the most. If you have struggled with money and abundance, then through your lessons and your hardships, you have learned the energy of money, the energy of abundance. You have faced the energy and the shadows of lack, of separation and poor self-worth. If you have sought to strengthen your spiritual abilities, then you have come to understand how they work, the purpose behind having them, and the methods that can be used to strengthen them. If you seek peace and flow and comfort, then you have faced head-on the opposite of that, and you have come to understand the nature of suffering and the liberation from it in the process. And through this initiation, you have been given the gift of understanding this energy and the processes behind it. And in doing so, you have sparked your divine purpose. You have educated yourself on a spiritual concept that you are now able to teach and share with others. That through understanding this concept and this energy, it has enabled you to help others do the same and to understand how to do so. Because those who already have do not often build down to understand in the same way that you have had to build up to understand. In the same way that there are parts of yourself that you have never struggled with, that you have taken for granted. Because without the struggle, you have never needed to analyze it or break it down or study it to overcome it. And so the areas in your life where you felt you were without or lacking held such a strong gravity that caused you to orbit them and analyze them and study them until you were able to overcome them. And it is that process of building up that creates our soul gifts and abilities, that sparks our life purpose, that gives our lives meaning. You build in order to know, to understand, to teach, and to help others. And so when you compare this version of yourself versus the highest reality version of yourself, I hope that you are able to understand that you are not lacking or without, but rather you have been given the gift of understanding. And now bring back into your awareness the parallel reality version of you on their highest timeline, experiencing and having all that you desire. Tuning in again to how they feel, their mental and emotional energies, their vibrations, and their remembrance and connection to their source divinity that enables them to live in a state of flow, of peace, of abundance, of love, self-worth, and power. And as you hold them in your awareness, you remind yourself that this is another aspect of you, an aspect of yourself that is within your divine right to claim and embody, to merge with. And call this highest dimensional version of yourself back into you. That as they merge into you, they bring with them that soul remembrance, that embodiment of connection to Source, that peace, that trust, that faith, that flow, that sovereignty and self-empowerment that will enable you to overcome all limitations. And to always remember that both of these versions of yourself, the one who had and the one who had to learn to have, both existed so that you could live your divine right and yet be able to help others learn to live in their divine right. That in which you understand is what you can help others to understand. As we all remember our divinity, as we all step into our sovereignty and power, and as we all open our hearts in love for each other. Let the wisdom be that all you perceive to lack is a gift, that you have never once been forsaken, abandoned, or unworthy. You simply chose the path of initiation and understanding. You chose the path of a teacher, a healer, a helper. And let that wisdom ground you into a deeper sense of gratitude and purpose. So go forth and share your light with the world. Abandon all perversions of ego that convince you of competition, of time being limited, of lack, or there not being enough to go around. Step into the power of remembering and knowing that you are a piece of the puzzle that serves not only your ascension, but the ascension and liberation of Earth. and all its beings. Your beauty, your gifts, your understanding are needed. Thank you for being here at this time. Thank you for contributing your light. And may you walk forward in the vibration of your highest reality and your highest timeline, for the highest good of all. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you for joining me for today's meditation. Thank you to the Hathors for channeling this beautiful message. I hope that it will bring you greater freedom, greater happiness, and greater purpose on your path. Namaste.